Hello and welcome to this May edition of Property News. Today I'm going to give you an update on the UK economy, talk about what's happening right now in the property market and give you some real investor insights for the next couple of months. So my name is Tony Law from Your First Four Houses, and my channel is all about helping you replace a job-based income with just a handful of investment properties so that you can give up the day job if you wish and go and do something more interesting with your life, like learning a new language. If this is your first time here, be sure to subscribe to the channel and click that bell notification icon so that you don't miss out on any of the free content that I give you each and every week. So let's start things off by having a quick look at the economy because it's been an amazing month. It was announced this week that the cost of measures to support the economy during the pandemic has pushed borrowing to an incredible £303 billion, the highest level since World War II. Believe it or not, that is £250 billion higher than a year ago. However, despite this, the UK economy now appears to be growing at its fastest ever recorded rate. The EY Club, which is the leading UK economic forecasting group, has upgraded its forecast for 2021 from 5% to 6.8%, which will be the fastest rate of growth since records began. Chief Economic Advisor Howard Archer said that the economy had proven to be far more resilient than had seemed possible, and of course the vaccine rollout and the relaxed restrictions are dramatically helping the recovery. The UK's GDP shrank by a record 9.9% last year, but it is now expected to return to its pre-pandemic size in the second quarter of 2022, which is 3 months earlier than was previously forecast. The unemployment estimate for January has also been downgraded from 7% to 5.8%. By the way, that's January 2022, which is nothing but a good thing. In fact, since lockdown started to ease, hiring of new staff has really been gathering pace, although the growth in jobs is not evenly spread across the country. According to research by the Centre of Cities think tank, it's the North and the Midlands that are leading in the jobs recovery market. The latest forecast now suggests the economy will emerge from the pandemic with far less long-term scarring than had previously been envisaged, and the country looks set for a strong recovery over the rest of this year and beyond. On a completely separate note, with all the buzz that's currently surrounding crypto at the moment, I was actually fascinated to read that the Bank of England have actually started exploring the possibility of having their own central bank digital currency. However, unlike a Bitcoin-style speculative asset, which has obviously seen some pretty wild fluctuations over the past year or so, the intention is that this new currency would actually exist alongside existing cash and bank deposits, rather than replacing them. By the way, if you're finding this update helpful, it would just be awesome if you could click that like button down there. It really helps me if that's okay. Let's move on to property. The national average price of property coming to the market hit an all-time high. I keep saying that a lot, don't I? An all-time high of £327,797 for the average price, following a 2.1% monthly jump in April. That's an average price rise of £6,733 in the month. The number of sales agreed was actually up 55% on the same period 2 years ago, reducing the stock of properties that are currently available to buy to the lowest proportion ever recorded. There's a kind of buying frenzy out there at the moment, isn't there, for all new stock that comes onto the market or exists, with both the average number of days to sell reaching its lowest ever record and the number of houses selling within a week reaching its highest ever record. In particular, 2 and 3 bedroom semi-detached houses are being snapped up, with 30% of them being marked as sold within just a week of being put on the market. With that said, I think there's going to be some froth coming off of the housing market later in this year once the government's economic measures come to an end. But the market is now genuinely expected to remain really strong throughout the remainder of 2021. Changes to the right to rent checks that were introduced during the pandemic come to an end on the 16th of May. From then on, The old system will be reinstated, meaning that landlords will actually need to meet tenants in person and check their right to rent status by looking at the original documentation that they bring along with them. But for more information on this, I put a link in the description box below. But undoubtedly, the biggest announcement for property investors in April was the introduction of planning Class MA. With some restrictions, this basically means you will now be able to turn all or part of a building in Class E into residential, which is massive news. However, as I say, there is certain restrictions that you need to keep in mind, including a minimum space standards of 37 square meters. All rooms must have natural light. I was disappointed to see you can't convert any property into an HMO, and it also only applies to England, and also it won't work with listed buildings. I was really interested to see, however, that Class A can actually be used within conservation areas, which I think is absolutely fantastic news for property investors. It comes in on the 1st of August, and I honestly think this is the biggest and most positive property news that you're going to see this year. Okay, so on to some of my investor insights, as I like to call them. But before I dive in, I'm going to make one thing really clear. These are just my opinions. They're just my best guesses. You need to do complete and utter due diligence on any deals that you're going to be looking at. And don't just take my word on anything that you're going to hear from me here, or indeed anybody's word for that matter. Do your own research. Get out there and check all this stuff out for yourself. The first thing I've got to say, pretty obviously, the economy is bouncing back hard. But I honestly think that businesses of all kinds need to rethink. They need to rethink how they're going to be moving forwards into 2021, 22 and beyond. Businesses need to have a big shake-up, in other words. Might now be an absolutely fantastic time to sell. I know I said that in the 2 previous months. I'm saying it again. I'm getting really great prices for the 2 properties that I'm currently selling. And so if you've got any properties that are kind of sitting in your portfolio and you're thinking to yourself, do you know what, is now a really great time to sell? I personally think it might be one of the best times to sell. But again, just my opinion, you've got to form your own view on that. I'd also like to say, is there perhaps a small window of opportunity for Class MA rather than some massive window? Why do I say that? Well, Class MA, as I say, it comes into place officially on the 1st of August. Now, what's happening right at the moment is that any property investors that are kind of aware of this, that are kind of educating themselves, they're looking for opportunities now. So that as soon as they can dive on it and take advantage of it, I think that the councils are going to get overrun with inquiries. I think there's going to be a lot of flooding of inquiries coming into the councils. I think their reaction to that may well be additional legislation, perhaps additional zoning. Now this will take time to come in, so maybe you've got 9, 12, 15 months. Again, just my personal view, I may well be wrong. My point is, you need to start looking for opportunities today, or at the latest, tomorrow onwards. Get out there, start looking for those types of places right now. Despite some genuine success and the wish of many employees to continue working from home, it looks like many business owners do in fact now want their staff back in the office. And I know that's the case with all of my kids, for example. So maybe that permanent working from home for many types of businesses, maybe that's not going to actually stay as it is. If that's the case, I'm really disappointed because I see so much potential for that, i.e. people permanently working from home moving forwards. But with that said, I want to introduce you to my phrase, staycations or workcations. What do I mean by that? Well, you're probably aware of the phrase staycations. There's been so much talk about that over the past year. This is people not going on holiday abroad. They're kind of staying home and making their home their vacation. Certainly that's what Liana and I did last year, and I'm sure many of you did as well. What about workcations though? In the past, I've done quite a lot of this. Liana and I, we would go to a city, usually obviously abroad naturally, and we'd spend a big lump of time there. Liana would enjoy the city, as of course would I, but I would also be working there. So I'm going to encourage you, if you're maybe looking at holiday lets, this type of thing, to kind of consider workcations. There are some big advantages to renting those types of properties outside of the really obvious holiday months. But you need to make sure you've got things like really good office desks, especially the type that kind of go up and down. You want to make sure that the property's got a really good printer, an excellent coffee machine, and maybe the desk overlooks a really beautiful view. If you do, I reckon you can start to fill those types of, holiday lets, service accommodation type properties outside of the shoulder months. When furlough comes to an end, I think businesses will clearly, or many businesses will clearly start to fold. That's a tragedy, but I think it's going to be the case when furlough in particular comes to an end. So I think you should be out there looking on places like businessesforsale.com. I was looking on there today. There are some fantastic opportunities for, yes, buying an existing business at a ridiculously low price. But perhaps more importantly, getting some freehold property that would kind of come as part of the package. Along similar lines, never dismiss, go on to Rightmove, search under commercial properties, and never dismiss any businesses, I would say, that are currently still operating if they're up for sale. Because I honestly think that even on Rightmove under commercial properties, you're going to find some fantastic opportunities.